Here we go live. Hi, we have Kate here with us. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
What are we doing?
No, this is actually live on YouTube.
Oh, amazing.
Have I done it correctly? Yes, the stream is live on YouTube.
Amazing.
All right, but we because it's so noisy, it will only pick up the voice when someone speaks into the mic. So let me do the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fishburner Live. Obviously, this is the after party clip and where we show the informal conversation and the people behind the scene. And we chit-chat with the winner again later after talking to the capable MC. He just done the pitch night MCing without sweating.
I sweat.
You see, I'm sweating like crazy while
Yeah, but you're doing more
there.
of the work, man. I was sweating. The globe is warming.
All right. I think I better. Okay, but let me grab one more chair and then. Do you want to introduce Kate and yourself
Kate and I'll have a
first?
chat.
Okay.
Have a chat.
Sure.
And I will grab a chair.
Okay.
Beautiful. So Kate is our president of Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand, but Kate is also. What else do you do?
Oh, I do a whole lot of stuff, really. My day job is to run we do a lot of work in women in leadership. So a lot of leadership development, but really more recently in the last couple of years, niching down to really supporting women in organisations, but also female entrepreneurs to, I guess, build the capability, the confidence to go out there and grow their business. And I say my own experience, running your own business, starting your own business is the biggest personal development journey you'll have in your life. So I think there's a lot of things we need to overcome as entrepreneurs. I certainly have had my own journey.
Beautiful. Yeah, and I should say myself, startup experience, pre-CA. I was working in an all-female team, actually, by myself, of course. It was a crowdfunding platform for small business. We did try a niche, actually, for sustainable tech. And a few other initiatives like a property investment platform, all syndicate-based property investment as a platform. But then I was called to Chartered Accountants and have been here for 4 years now helping accountants be entrepreneurial, which is a patient journey, but it's one that bears fruit. And ca.catalyst is something that's empowered those members of ours to do that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been an incredible initiative. Are you coming in or are you going to stand there?
Why not? Move over by
You want us to move over?
50 centimeters.
We've got a video.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's better. Okay, because I could not hear what you were talking about earlier because it's so noisy. Keep going.
Just did self-intros.
Oh, I was just saying, I think there's lots of opportunity. I mean, it's been an incredible initiative by ca ANZ to really help our members. How do we reinvent ourselves? How do we do the how do we get involved in these things that could, really easily feel like big things to do? But I love, I think one of the things about being an entrepreneur, but also the things that ca.catalyst brings is it's the small things, right? Dive in, have a go, test, learn, experiment. What do you say? Frugal
Innovation.
Yeah, it's just being willing to, do something and recognise you're not going to get it perfectly, but you'll learn something, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I worked in startups that were of differing models, I guess, in terms of it could be a bunch of rich people with not that good of an idea, but put money into it. So I thought, bugger it, I'll do it. And then some with less money and all the passion in the world that you need, and they actually turned out to be better ones. I think it takes a lot of commitment. And I was, as I said, rounding off tonight, it's pretty admirable to see what these people do.
And they need all the help. Every founder up there, although they are making good progress, they need more help and more support as well. So I noticed that, Kate, you were running a session for CA members earlier before the pitch night. Would you like to talk about that for those people who have missed out on that momentum session, was it?
Yeah, we were just talking about navigating your career, right? And I think what's interesting is so many people working in corporate will always talk to me about wanting to start a side hustle, right? Everyone's like, oh, it looks so easy. And you and I know, and everyone knows who's a founder, it's really, really, really hard because it's not just about the idea, right? Really, it's about the execution. It's about the networks. And, we know the data says that to scale a business above $1 million, you need connections and network. To your point around you need help. So I think that's the tricky piece, right? It looks, it's very sexy. Like I've had clients who work in corporate saying, I'm going to leave and start my own business, and had some great ideas. And then I start going, okay, hit me with the nuts and bolts. Like, how much do you need to sell in order to replace your corporate income for two of them because they were a partnership? And then when you start to look at what that looks like, and they were accountants, by the way, it's like, oh, wow, does this stack up? And so I think, I think it's important that, yes, your point there around being purpose-driven, when you're really clear about why you're in business and why it matters, it's a whole lot easier to navigate some of the tough moments. And the only thing I think you can guarantee in entrepreneurialism is there'll be a whole lot of tough moments. Yeah.
So, obviously, accountants are very mission-driven, very focused. What's the point of CA working with startup community like this event? You mentioned it already, have you?
No, I will.
Okay.
I'll cover that. Thanks, man.
Cover that.
So, I didn't do accounting. I think a part of my commerce degree at ANU in Canberra, I had to do 6 months.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, half of it was an essay,
Yeah.
which everyone in the room except me said, "What the hell's that?" And I said, "Thank you," because I love English and writing, and so it served me. I did accounting, sort of, and then went off and did startups for a while overseas and back here.
Yeah.
And then what I enjoyed about it was the enablement of technology across the board now that we can see. So it's not,
Yeah.
I don't think you can argue it's disruptor, like it's this whole negative connotation. It's an enabler. Mm-hmm. Sure, if you sit there and remain stagnant and do nothing and think you can remain the same business model, if we're talking legal or accounting and others, yeah, you will be disrupted. But it's working better. Technologies are working better to integrate and be softer in their entry into the business model and where they apply. And so, back to the point of why you raised me to the questioning, we have built with chartered accountants, as chartered accountants I should say, the ca.catalyst program, which is to enable the accountant who works in those everyday businesses who are being disrupted by tech themselves and their clients, and position them to think laterally instead of, like you just talked about, that mission-oriented,
That's right.
almost rigid. I don't want to sound negative. Accounting has its merits and importance and its compliance, so you have to do it. But then to think outside of that and think about growth, think about pivot, think about client specialization, target market, marketing. Like, accountants don't think about their business. They think about their clients and servicing them with the tools and trades that they've been trained for. And so a startup space, as part of our partnership to empower our members to go beyond what they typically do, is a great testing ground, because this is a wild west.
So help their practice to get bigger, think wider, offer more value added to the clients. And Kate want to...
Yeah, I was just saying, and it's about leadership, right? Like, yes, it's about what we do at our own businesses, but then how do you help our clients or their clients and their businesses that they work in? How do you lead them to have certainty, to have a go, test something, try something, be prepared to get it wrong, in service of the benefits for their clients, for their staff, all those sorts of things? Because the one thing, to your point about Wild West, right, you can't, it's coming and you either get on board or you don't. And if you don't, then there will be cost to not getting on board. So it's the piece around how do you help our staff, our people, but most importantly, the clients that you're working with start to explore this stuff so that they're not left behind.
And Kate, you're right. It's that just start. Like, an accounting model is something that one can understand. It's got a client base. It's got a workflow process of owning the business data of the client, helping them check and balance everything and provide them with a position on where their business is at. But what technology does and what these startup hubs are offering is not only the sectors that the accountant is servicing, like agricultural technology, is totally changing the game from our perspective, our members in regional areas with those clients. Our members can now talk to them about, are you tracking your sheep going from fence to trough to maybe onto the highway? There's technologies for that, to make sure they drink the right amount of water, have the right feed, are the right weight, and do it in a friendly and seamless manner with technology instead of a rugged forearm of a countryman.
We have a agricultural pitch about 4 months ago, did we?
We did.
We did.
We had
exactly.
over 1,000 CAs register for that.
Exactly. That was more than 200 people online watching
Amazing.
that event. It was a good one. For those people who happens to miss that pitch night, go back to our catalog and go back to CA Catalyst website.
Correct.
I think it's on your website as well.
It is.
Yes. Go to discover that agriculture pitch night video, and there are some interesting founders and interesting business in there. Right.
So, and I just want to say, because I'm going to have to head off, unfortunately, but I will say this. The way I see accounting and startups working together, of which we have proven, so I will say this, our CA in Residence program is a program of 90 days in Fishburners, or if you're in another area watching tonight, or you're in New Zealand as well. We have other partners, although Fishburners is my favourite, given that I was a Fishburner. I was one. Our accountants have come in and the first guy came in, ran a balance sheet session and had 84 founders turn up.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What I loved about that, though, that was just the start. Because what happened then was, our accountants have now proven, we've had about 160 accountants now spend time in our partnerships in that 90-day rotation. They've actually helped with capital raising, product development, R&D tax incentives, like in terms of someone who's networked. An accountant is in every business everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So if you need a partnership out of sustainability tonight with particular areas and sectors and investors, an accountant is well placed to help you that. So they're at least a conduit, but also that potential growth strategist, and we've proven that, and we're going to grow that, and we're going to continue that, and that's why we're in 4 years, and we're going to go into 5 years of our partnership. So,
all right. For all the young uni student inspired to be a CA in the near future in their career, what's your advice to them, Kate?
Yeah, I think what I love most about our profession is the difference you can make, right? Yes, there's the debits and credits that often form the basis of your foundation, or the tax stuff. But we have members working all around the world doing incredible stuff. Rain Vanderberg, one of our members based down in Tassie, who was involved with the first, I think it's Natural Capital Report. Her work has gone global. She's leading a lot of the thinking around some of the stuff here around sustainability. We've got members working in the big firms doing some of the insurance work, really supporting organisations to measure their carbon footprint. There is so much exciting opportunity for people who join our profession. Yes, there is nuts and bolts training that comes, but I think when I look at our members, my own career, but even just here tonight, right, we've got members doing incredible things all around the world. And so for me, the CA designation is a career that can take you anywhere. Yes, globally, if you want to travel and live all around the world for work, but also across industries, across organisations. That really is an incredible opportunity to work in a purpose-centred way, but really to make a difference where it counts.
Thank you. And for those founders, because this is on Fishburner channel, most likely those are inspiring early stage founders trying to find their way through the industry. If they want to build or distribute their services through the Chartered Accountant network of contacts, how should they reach out to you, Jeremy?
So we are a well-respected partner of Fishburners, if I may say. So there are details. If you reach out to Fishburners and say, and I would suggest to all of you,
link in the description below.
Yeah.
Go to Catalyst program. Do you guys, last time in the early days of Catalyst program, I do remember you guys feature some of our member in your digital publication.
Yes, I wanted to touch on that. Yeah,
exactly. Sorry.
So yeah, the startup work we do is. I don't want to downplay it, but it's mainly an advocacy piece. We want to really, 160 odd CAs that I mentioned, we have 134,000 members in Australia and New Zealand.
Yes.
So that's a fingernail shaving. What we are really empowering them to do as a core focus is, as I mentioned, the business model innovation areas within accounting, which is largely around automation of workflow to speed up and create capacity. Because when it's tax time, they're so damn busy, they can't do anything. They don't answer my emails. Data. The new kings and queens of data will be accountants, because data is the new oil. There's more data produced every year than ever before, cumulatively. Every year than ever before. And accountants are the bean counters, yes, but now with automation and technology, they can actually weaponize that data to advise for growth. And so we deliver these services which empower them to gain clarity, readiness, and execution on that new service offering or new business automation process to make it either a better work-life balance, to go for a run or go on holiday, or actually just service a client better, maybe a bit of both. And that's what we do overall.
Fantastic. So link in the description below to discover CA Catalyst website.
Correct.
And contact Jeremy through those links, and also discover again CA ANZ website. And for those young student, young accountant that your career that you are building, hopefully you will find this an inspiring and resourceful website for you to build your next steps.
Beautiful. Thanks, mate. Please reach out. We'll match you with a CA. We'll get you helped, get you growing.
Thanks
Cheers.
so much. Fabulous to be here.
All right. Okay, let's spin our sponsor message. Then we will talk to the winner and the two winners of tonight's pitch night. See you
Beautiful.
later.
Cheers.
Thank you for all the people that are watching online. I believe we have people from England, Israel, the US.
Okay, my name is Alex. I'm the founder of Print.
First-hand dramatic impact of climate change.
We will send a read-only copy.
Please jump on here, send us.
Yeah.
Here we go. We are back at after party networking time at Fishburner Friday night pitch with Chartered Accountant ANZ, and we have a big fish and the winner of tonight here, Janet from
Footprint Lab.
Footprint Lab,
Yeah.
and then Miranda from CA. And I'm going to hand over the mic for Miranda to network with Janet and give her some feedback
Thank you.
and ask her some challenging questions.
All right, let's see how tough we
particularly
can get.
probing investor question,
Yeah.
pro bono accountant services, anything you want to ask.
Okay.
Thanks. Well, Jen, do you want to start by introducing what does Footprint Lab do?
Yeah, we're data as a service. So we're putting together massive data sets so that you can know the carbon footprint per dollar for any sector and any country or any use case. So trying to help people who are doing carbon accounting.
Yep. Excellent, which is very much needed because everyone is doing carbon footprinting right now. There's lots of legislation coming out that's asking for organisations to do carbon footprinting, and some organisations are mature and have been doing it, and some, there's a lot that haven't. So there's a great need for this service right now. And one of the reasons why you were the winner is that you're very articulate about what it is that you were needing, what the use case was, and then also what your ask was. So in case anyone missed it, what was your ask for tonight?
Okay, so we think accountants are the potential climate heroes. So we want to make sure that we develop data sets that are usable by accountants and that can make it really easy for chartered accountants to go ahead and do that sustainability measurement and reporting. Because there are so many so many new standards that they have to apply, and now there's also the Partnership for Carbon Accounting Financials, under which $80 trillion worth of assets will now have a carbon footprint measurement. So it's huge, but we're seeing people get it wrong, and we'd love to make it really transparent and clear where that data comes from, what it really means, and just empower anyone who's managing carbon or money to measure the sustainability and report and do something about it.
Amazing. And what I'm hearing is you're actually offering help to chartered accountants who basically, most of the time from my experience, overworked, have too much on their plate. Now this new thing called sustainability reporting is coming through. Yeah. How do they navigate that? How do they understand what it is they have to do for their organization? And it sounds like Footprint Lab can actually help them with that's coming their way, and also make it in a way that can actually help them understand what to do with that data afterwards as well.
Absolutely.
And also responsible investing is such a big topic with BlackRock and all those sort of things. So specifically around that, when you were saying about the money side, anyone managing money or managing investments really needs to understand what are they actually investing in, what are the underlying assets, like is it fossil fuels or is it a tech company that has a fairly low carbon footprint? Sounds like Footprint Lab is something that could actually help them measure that. Is that right? Yeah.
BlackRock, by the way, they do the full Scope 3 accounting, and they make that available online. Which is good, because I think they're the largest asset manager under the Partnership for Carbon Accounting Financials. PCAF is if anyone's not heard of PCAF and you're working in the finance industry, should probably look it up. And we're joined by Tim also. Yes, hi, Tim. Co-founder.
Tim Baynes, co-founder of Footprint Lab, along with Janet here.
Yes.
We were just talking about responsible investment, and I lost my train of thought. There was a thought there. Oh yes. So Janet mentioned Scope 3. So if anyone doesn't understand what Scope 3 is, this is another area where if you're an accountant and you've never heard about carbon accounting, it's one of the terms that's broadly used. Scope 1 is basically your energy that you use to run your operations as a company. Scope 2 is your purchased electricity. Scope 3 is basically everything else in your value chain. So it's massive. So when Janet's saying that BlackRock are doing their Scope 3, measuring the Scope 3 emissions, it's a big deal.
Well, the funny thing about Scope 3 is that it's often an order of magnitude larger than your Scope 1 and 2. So you'll see a lot of companies are saying, we're disclosing the amount of Scope 1 emissions, which is like directly physically releasing greenhouse gases. We're reporting on our electricity. But when it comes to all the products and the supply chain of the products and services that we eventually need to sell what we're selling, that can be an order of magnitude larger than what they're reporting.
Especially in the tertiary end of the economy. 75% of the economy is in services and at that end. And that's where there's the most, if you like, blindness to that Scope 3. There's a lot of supply chains behind anything from cafes to finance to banking to whatever you're doing there.
Everything. And in Scope 3 terms, that's category 1 and 2, purchase goods and services and capital goods. So you're even buying or investing in equipment that's got a carbon footprint attached to it, particularly if you're in the construction industry or anything that has, So, trying to think of a probing question for you guys.
I'll ask you a question. So, do you think that data as a service is a good business model? Because we're seeing a lot of SaaS. Everyone's developing their own user interface and user experience, and a little bit of maybe hiding the secret sauce of how they arrive at the numbers. Whereas we're taking a step back. We're trying to democratize it, make that data available for anyone. Do you think we can survive as a business?
Yes, definitely. And coming from like a CA point of view, transparency and integrity, big deal in like any of the reporting has to be. Is always about being transparent with the reporting. Is it holding a true and fair view of things? And if we don't actually know about the data integrity or where the data is coming from, how can you actually be sure that what the numbers are on the page are actually true and fair or accurate, representing what that organization's activities are? So, and all these SaaS companies or the software as a service companies that are out there, where are they getting their data from? So if there's transparency between what's underlying them, and if it's IE Labs or something else, then that makes it even easier for organizations to make that understand and make that switch to a platform like, well, data as a service or software as a service, and there's a partnership there, or going directly to the source. So if you guys are the secret source, then
We're feeling better about leaving our jobs now.
Yeah.
Oh, how
I felt quite good about leaving my job on the day after I left my job, but yeah. No,
how long have you started up?
We were talking earlier, we've got a tagline. We don't make apps, we make data.
The new marketing spin.
I don't know.
So how long ago did you start Footprint Lab?
I've been thinking about it for about 10 years, but I started seriously last year and went full-time in April this year.
Oh,
It feels
wow.
like forever. Yeah,
So
and
from
I was
April,
very
and
lucky
yourself?
to
I
find
started
Tim.
in July. July seems like a long time
3
ago.
months. Start of the financial year.
I know, it was very neat, very neat for accountants. But 3 months does not. It feels more like 6 months. But we've done a lot in that time. Actually, with a lot of help from Incubate, University of Sydney.
Yep.
And it's like we're not from a business background, from the UN, from CSIRO, so we've come up to speed quickly. But I think, we're confident in what we've got. Like it's a new company, but a couple of experienced heads here.
Very experienced.
And we've applied it in many ways, applied the data and the product in many ways, but now it's time to get it out to a much more broader corporate, commercial audience.
Yep. And what's the biggest surprise or fail in the last 6 or 3 months for you guys for doing a startup?
Wow.
Which one? Yeah.
Or learning experience. Pick whatever topic.
Learning, yeah.
Look, we've been doing a lot of user interviews, so we thought we had the solution. People need data, and we can help them unlock their own creativity and problem solving because they know the problems that they're currently working on, and we'll just give them the data. But our user interviews revealed so much about the complexity of what we're trying to do, but also the opportunity. So one example is what we found is the fintech users, potential users. So people not working on sustainability, they want to know what's on my receipt. So you can start with saying, okay, I bought something in this shop or this service provider or whatever, and at the sector level we'll give you that carbon footprint.
Yeah.
But it's the fintech people who are saying, but what if I bought something different at Coles? What if I bought a lot of meat? Or what if I'm vegetarian? Yeah. I don't want the average for that sector. I want specifics about what I bought. And so that's brought us into this whole world of smart receipts and how much data is there at the point of sale. And now we're looking at how to integrate the data at that level. So we're really open to any suggestions about that. We've started talking to service providers in that area, but I think in the future it'll go so granular. Anything that's digital data and well organised is sort of a point of integration for us. So I think that's one of our biggest learnings. We've got to get more specific.
So if I went to a supermarket retail and bought my groceries, I could actually have a dollar sign of how much it cost me, but also the kilograms of CO2 associated with my purchases, potentially.
That's our end goal. And, the EU is bringing out digital product passports, not so much for food, but for clothing and electronics.
Yeah.
So ideally, in the future, we're going to see this at the SKU level, and that would be the dream.
That's amazing. How about for you, Tim? Anything interesting, exciting?
No.
Or spectacular fails?
Spectacular fails? My attempts at accounting. That's
okay. We've all been there.
No, but to concur with Janet on discovering what you can do with this. It is a general offering. It's data. What can you do with it?
Yeah.
We've got a few early clients, and seeing what they do with it is not necessarily what we thought where we would go.
Doing it, yeah.
And it not only uses the data, it uses a bit of our domain expertise as well about what that data means, the semantics of it. Seeing how that gets used. Apart from you could have thought at the beginning we're just going to on-sell data, we're going to have a package and we're going to quality assured. Oh no, there's much more you can enrich with people's whether their receipts or their business or their personal carbon footprint or investments. It's been an eye-opener to see the possible ways it can go. Data
is very important. You can't manage what you can't measure, which is the catchphrase of all the reporting stuff. I think we might be running out of time, so I've got one.
No.
I've got another question. Dream client or customer?
Oh, I've got one. Do you want to go first?
No, you go first.
Yeah.
I'm
So
interested to see what-
I love people working in open banking, doing data enrichment for transactions, because they're obsessed about looking at a transaction and seeing how much data they can layer on to that transaction. So they've got that sort of code in the back end, and then when we look at that code, we can see, oh, wait, we didn't know you had that data and that data and that data. We could really customize something for you for that transaction. So yeah, the open banking and data enrichment world is my sort of dream area. And funnily enough, a lot of founders in that space are very environmentally minded. Yeah, they're all these surfers that live in Manly and they started their fintech because they were in the big banks and now they want to, do their own thing, and they're kind of cowboys. So, I'd love to work with them.
Yeah.
Do you know, you talked about democratizing it and making it available, and there's a certain quality and updatedness, a currency of our data that is, let's say, the commercial product. But to have something really democratized through a platform like Google, that would be a real game changer, I think. I don't know how that would work. I don't know how you value that and price it, how. But to have the sort of data we have taken up, display, like maps are now so pervasively available. I used to buy a map.
Yeah. That digitization.
So I don't know. Maybe that is a long range thing.
Well, you never know who's listening out there that works at Google or in any open banking fintechs. Get in contact with Footprint Lab. What else? Any unusual hobbies that you guys have on a personal level? Let's move away from.
Well, I just found out that Tim runs marathons.
The Blackmores on last weekend.
I was running a marathon last weekend.
Yeah. Congrats.
Yeah.
Beautiful day for it.
It was a cracking day. You know what? You run marathons, but training for it, you run a lot, and I use it as an excuse to tourism in the city. Where you're gonna run 15, 20 Ks. Let's go run to Bondi and catch the bus back or something.
So nice. I heard it's a very scenic marathon as well.
There's a few hills. Yeah. And
I meant that you
sorry,
actually see.
That's runner translation for scenic means there was a lot of hills in there. No, but yes, run over the Harbour Bridge. You end at the Opera House and through the Centennial Garden. So yeah, but I discovered Janet likes escape rooms. I do a few escape rooms, but when I said, I do escape rooms, what about you?
Oh my gosh, so you
love
know
escape
all the good
rooms.
I first heard skate, I thought she was a skateboarder. I'm like, wow, that is really cool.
Not that cool.
Escape rooms, they are cool.
Yeah.
There are a lot of them in Sydney. Do you have a favourite?
Oh, I like the VR one, actually. There's a VR escape room where you've got to problem solve with your teammates in an untethered VR environment. So, yeah, I kind of like those. I like the VR world.
Was there a particular theme to one of the VR ones that's your favourite? Is it the space ones, or is it
Look, the space ones tend to be very popular. I don't mind them because you can fly, you can do a few things. Yeah. And that way it doesn't need to look that realistic as well, so you can sort of engage. Yeah.
Does it take a while to get adjusted to the actual VR goggles when you put them on, and then also when you take them off to then readjust to real life?
Very short while, and it's shocking how knowing that it's not real, but then a zombie comes at you, and it's still kind of scary. So yeah, I kind of love that play of the mind as well, that sensory takeover of VR.
There is an app. Yeah. I don't know, but where you can go running.
Yeah, Zombie Run.
Zombie Run.
Yes.
I don't have it, but you run fast because you feel and sound like you're being chased by a zombie.
That sounds terrifying. I don't think I want that app.
It's so good.
Well, I guess you get your cardio going for the day, right?
It gives you a reason to run. There's zombie running after you. Yeah.
And do you find time to be able to do your hobbies with a startup, or are you working around the clock, or how are you balancing your work-life balance?
Yeah, we're pretty good at balancing work-life. Like we love working together, and we've got a really good space at Incubate at the University of Sydney. But yeah, we've both got
I
families.
think it's, when life things need to be done, they need to be done.
Yeah.
There's work isn't an excuse to not do that.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's good, because often I hear with startups and also being in the sustainability space, it's very easy to burn out because you're so passionate about what you're doing, and you're so excited about what you're doing. It's hard to set those boundaries, and there are grayer boundaries, especially from COVID. Everyone's working from home and all that sort of stuff. That makes it harder to set that time to make sure, okay, I'm done. Putting tools down. Let's relax.
Yeah, but you do want to come back to it. You do want to.
You feel more excited every day coming to work.
We have a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's so great to hear, because it is a lot of work and it's a lot of, as you're saying, putting behind a well-paid job just to jump into a startup. It's a big deal. Yeah. It's not easy. So congratulations to you both for doing it, and congratulations for your pitch tonight as well. Yeah. Which is excellent. It's scary getting up in front of real people and talking, no longer on Zoom anymore.
Thanks, Miranda. Yeah, really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
Great. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for all the people that are watching online. I believe we have people from England, Israel, the US.
Okay, my name's Alex. I'm the founder of
First-hand dramatic impact of climate change.
We will send a read-only copy.
Please jump on here, send us.
Welcome back everyone to Fishburner Live after party, and we just have Miranda, Jeanette and Tim taking a picture on the stage because they're celebrating their participation of this wonderful event. Thank you, Oliver, for spending time with us and come to Fishburner. Was it your first time pitching at Fishburner?
Yes, it was my first time pitching at Fishburners, and it was really fun.
It was good, positive.
Yeah.
It was high pressure before that. It was a bit of small panic earlier.
Yeah. I was very nervous at the beginning, and there was some.
But actually, you tonight, I would say from where I sit, where I stand over there operating the production.
Yeah.
You come across very confident when you're opening it.
Thank you.
Well done.
It was. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. How about this? Let's do a 30-second elevator pitch of GreenCoat.
Like right now?
Yeah, why not? For the people who have, because they may not have watched your video before. I mean, they may not have watched your pitch night video.
Yeah,
Come on, do it.
So, what if your windows could offer you more than just a nice view? What if it could help your building save energy, reduce costs, and even help decarbonize your building and the whole city? Yep. GreenCoat offers you exactly that, enabling savings to you while saving the planet.
Very good. GreenCoat, link in the description below, and also link in the description below for Miranda earlier, and also for Jeanette and Team's footprint, that founding team, and all the other pitching founders tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you, Team. And Team won the People's Crowd favorite.
Yeah. Yes.
People's Choice Award.
Yes.
Obviously, they can agree with you. So the key advantage of your technology, which is an extra layer on the existing glass panel, compared to other available industrial product, why yours is better?
Yes, great question. Our one is better simply because it's because of our retrofittability.
Yep.
You can apply our thin film coating onto existing windows.
Yep. So it is some kind of tinting layer or stick-on.
Yeah, it's a stick-on thin film.
Yep.
And that thin film has a plasma coating that is can change opacity in response to different environmental conditions.
Through control or automatically?
So it's at the moment it's through control, manual control.
So you have an electronic connection to it, so you can change the opacity of it.
Yes.
Or set a timer of it, or have a photo sensor sensing the light level and change it.
So the IoT connectivity and the sensors can help change it automatically, but users can also change it the opacity manually and through their device, and yes.
Does it consume power? My background is a telecom electrical engineer, electronic engineer, so I might naturally jump straight to the question. Does it consume power after change, or is actually only consume power during the changing process?
It only consumes power during the changing process.
Okay, so you could be cordless IoT setup, so that you just press it use a bit of the battery, and then the battery can last for a long time.
Yes, that's right.
It doesn't need to run a main power adapter and things like that.
It uses a very small amount of energy, and it's only when it's changing state.
Okay, so for those people, sorry to jump straight to, I like to find alternative technology to the pitch that I'm talking to. What if someone just put a window tinting layer on it? That is very popular now since many years ago. Car window tinting has been very effective for a long time. Why don't they just put a 30% filter car window tint on the office window?
Yes. So
why they need your solution to achieve better outcome?
Because our solution is dynamic and it can change opacity based on different environmental conditions. So those existing solutions, you can stick it on, but it's very hard to take off. And I was just talking to someone after my pitch, and they were talking about how, they put on a frosted,
frosted sticky layer.
Frosted sticky layer.
Okay, but now is tough.
Yeah, now they can't see outside the window, and it's very annoying for them. And sort of our advantage is that it goes dark in summer to block out that excess heat. But a key advantage of our technology is that in winter, it can become fully transparent and let in more heat in winter through the windows. So you don't need to use, heating from your aircon systems.
But you also want to minimize the heat loss through the window to outside, though. Does your coating layer, how does it achieve that?
Yes, so basically the properties of the tungsten oxide layer absorbs that heat and keeps it, it essentially keeps it insulated.
Keep it on this side or on that side?
So it keeps it within the building if it's coming from within the building, and if it's from outside the building, it'll keep it outside the building. So it basically it's like a
reflection. It's a radiation reflection.
Yes, exactly.
Effectively, it's a mirror. It's reflecting wherever it come from.
Exactly.
Yes. So it would be So what kind of, if it is a say classical existing office building, 40-some years old, green energy efficiency was not a factor at all during those early days of construction. If they need to retrofit it, and that's a lot of window, that's a lot of effort. And what kind of payback time you think they could anticipate?
Yeah, it's a great question, and so far our early estimates suggest that the payback period is between 1.5 to 3 years. It
from energy saving on electricity saving from the air conditioning.
The energy savings from reduced aircon usage and energy optimization, those kinds of things. So it's but obviously as we develop and improve our product further, that payback period could come down even further. We're still at a relatively early stage, and we hope to improve the performance even further so that that payback period's even faster.
Yeah. When can people watching this video expect your product to be out there for pilot or for commercial rollout?
Yeah, so we want to have our pilots out next year, and run that throughout next year, early 2024, and we want to have it, a full scale commercial launch around 2025. Once we've had those pilots, once we've collected that data, and use that data to improve and iterate.
Are you looking for pilot partners, or you only do the pilot in the uni?
At the moment, we are talking with various potential customers, but obviously, if you're listening and you're keen to be a pilot partner, please do reach out. The more partners we get, the more data we get, and the more improvement that we can make to our product.
Fantastic. Link in the description below to reach out to GreenCoat, to Oliver from GreenCoat.
Yes.
What's the next ask that you are asking because you have 4 boxes of asks in your slide. I forgot the detail now. Tell me more again.
Sure. So, I guess, because we're at an earlier stage, maybe compared to the other startups that we're pitching. And because, we're, I guess, less experienced maybe than the other startups on the stage, any mentors in the property, deep tech, commercialization space would be super helpful, and as well as connections to potential property companies and
Fantastic. So anyone out there watching this video happens to looking for idea or trying to check out what GreenCoat is about, reach out to Oliver. Link in the description below. And if you are investor, technical team member, manufacturing process engineer in thin film coating, IoT device manufacturing, and deployment in office building. It just popped up one more question. Okay. Obviously, it's very hard to cover every window throughout the whole building completely.
Yes.
Is it okay to just cover half of it, or as big as possible? You don't need to completely edge to edge and things like that, because every bit counts, right?
Yeah, so...
Of course, aesthetic is a factor. You try to do it as nice as possible. But for some old building, every bit counts, is it?
Yeah, so for the maximum positive, environmental impact, it's obviously better to have our plasma coating as complete as possible. But we can definitely tailor our solution to particular user needs, because we are aware that some customers may want some customizability.
That's right. But I would imagine the first thing the installation team would like to ask is, can I cut it and trim it to fit the window?
Yeah, so
your electrical connection is in the middle, so that the edges is trimmable as long as you don't cut the key contact point.
So basically at the moment the electrical connections in the corners of the plasma coating, but that's we're always iterating and getting feedback from customers and from people that we're trialing it with, so we're always open to changes depending on the feedback we get.
If you have idea about optimizing energy efficiency in aging buildings, aging office building, that is going to stand for another 50, 60 years and make our world a better place. Reach out to Oliver.
Hopefully with your support we can make the world a more sustainable and better place. So thank you.
You are from USyd?
Yes, University of Sydney.
Have you been in part of the Incubate program at USyd already?
We recently went through the Genesis program.
Oh, Genesis program,
and,
that's right.
We came top 7.
Genesis is the account or business school program, or is it? It's Incubate is a separate program run by a separate team within the USyd family.
Yeah. So Genesis is. I started in the business school, but it's now cross faculty. It's
fantastic.
Targets but more like early stage startups like GreenCoat.
That's right.
Incubate's more for startups that are at like a growth stage. But definitely in the future we'll definitely want to go through Incubate at some point in the future.
Right. So, for all the USyd students and USyd coming entrepreneurs or existing entrepreneur, what would you like to tell them about your Sydney Startup Hub experience?
Yeah, I would say, go for it. Especially if you're a young student or a young person, you're really at a stage where, you can really do anything that you essentially put your mind to without the risk that maybe potentially might come later in life when you have like a big mortgage or kids or other things. So definitely go for it. Definitely make the most of the resources that are at your disposal. So whether it's the Sydney Startup Hub or whether it's Fishburners or whether it's the entrepreneurship programs at your uni. At USyd it's Genesis and Incubate. At UTS it's UTS Startups. At UNSW to UNSW Founders, and there's also other amazing programs out there like Shift for ImpactX and many others.
Yeah, and follow Oliver's advice and find his connection below. Connect with Oliver on LinkedIn. I'm sure Oliver will be very helpful to you all with your entrepreneurial or career journey. And thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you so much.
Yep, and we wave goodbye to the camera and we will roll the exit video.
Enjoy the weekend.
Bye-bye.